Welcome back. The Security Association of Namibia is gearing up for the Namibia Private Security Conference, as well as their AGM, taking place from the 22nd to the 23rd of this month. Now, the event will bring together leaders and policymakers, as well as stakeholders from across the country's security industry, and will officially be opened by Her Excellency President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. Joining us to tell us all about this year's objectives and highlights is Celeste Mhundru, the National Administrator. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
I want to start with the purpose of this year's conference, Celeste. What are the main objectives behind hosting this national gathering?
It's our very first conference that we are having, and the reason we had to come up with this initiative was because we have realized that there's a huge gap between the private sector, government entities, and as well as stakeholders. And that's the need to inform these stakeholders of what the security sector is all about, what the security entails. And with all these changes that is happening and developing within the sector, climate change as well is the reason that we had to come up with this initiative.
Well, as you mentioned, this is your first conference to bring these stakeholders together and also to sensitize them. And it will officially be opened by the President, Her Excellency Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. What does this level of recognition mean, for the private security industry?
It sends a message to say that, there is priority within the sector, and that we do form part of the national security sector within the country. And being a sector that is employing of around about 30,000 security personnel, of which 390 companies that are registered with SUN, of which obviously only 104 are paid up members. Thus, we are very, very thankful that she saw this as a need.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the theme, which is focusing on three key pillars, which is compliance, innovation, as well as collaboration. Just, briefly unpack these three focus areas for us.
Compliance, it's a long road. We have started negotiations since 2023 with regards with the minimum wage, of which we managed to have it phased in a period of over a period of 3 years. We have the Security Act that is currently not promulgated since 1998. So after 3 decades, you still don't have a sector that is being regulated. So we need to collaborate with all stakeholders so that we can have this regulations promulgated, because we need to bring people to book. It's people's livelihoods that we are talking about. And we are saying this is not just the monetary sector. We are also contributing towards the economy of the country. With regards to collaboration, compliance, obviously it goes, it factors in together. We don't just want this conference to be a one-off thing. We want it to be an annual event, so that we ensure once the regulations are promulgated that we start training people in the industry, we start educating stakeholders within the industry, and not just nationally, but also on the international level. And remember, with innovation, the world is moving very fast. And the scary part is you knowing tomorrow that you're not going to have a job. So we need to come up with strategies on how do we embrace these technologies. Is the sector ready for these technologies? So thus these discussions, so that we can be able to be ready for all of these changes within the sector.
You mentioned that currently there's no Security Act within Namibia. How would having this act in place positively impact the industry?
The act is there. We don't have the regulations. So that's why you have a lot of briefcase companies roaming around that are not compliant. And if we have the platform, and thankfully Honorable Ipumbu did accept our request. She's also going to be part of the discussions, and hopefully we will get some response as to how far they are with these regulations.
One of the highlights includes discussions around, as you mentioned, cybersecurity and AI. And I just want to further unpack that, because you mentioned now that the world is evolving and you're trying to look to see how, you know, this sector can transform with technology as well. So in terms of private security and how it operates today, how would technology play a role there?
Well, it plays a huge role because right now we need to sit with these stakeholders, and we need to start looking at introducing not just with companies, but also with educational institutions. How do we enshrine these changes within the educational system? We don't have anything within the security sector, within the educational system. We don't have anything within technology, within the security sector. So it's very important that we do have these discussions and we come up with recommendations on how we can embrace all of these changes.
Outside of having these regulations promulgated, what outcomes or partnerships does SUN hope to achieve through this platform and this conference?
We are hoping that, obviously, our first and main, we already won the challenge of having the minimum wage promulgated over the period or phased-in period of 3 years. And we are hoping that the regulations will then be put through or promulgated. We are looking for continuous partnership or long-term partnerships on continuous solutions and challenges and matters that we need to resolve within the workforce of the security sector.
Just lastly, Celeste, for interested parties watching this evening, security companies or other that are, you know, interested in taking part in this conference, how can they go about that? Any details on that that you'd like to just leave us with?
They are welcome to register on our website, which is www.sanamibia.com.na, or they could contact us at 081 4799 404 or 061 256 208. And we are inviting everyone to come. You don't necessarily need to be from the security sector. You can be from academia, from mining. There could be something that you could be picking up, or we could be picking up from you that we can collaborate together. So the event is free. It's going to happen between the 22nd, as you said, and the 23rd of October. And the venue is going to be at Movenpick in Pantuk. So yeah, we are looking forward to a fruitful and a very high attendee rate for this event.
Well, Celeste, thank you so much for being here this evening, and all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's almost time to say goodbye, but not